This is part 3 of the Hub and Rommel Center dashboard tutorial. In the last video, we showed you guys how to make a simple pivot table and pivot chart, and we also started talking about how to operate the entrepreneur information file that you can make for each entrepreneur that continuously visits the Rommel Center or Hub. And in this video, we're going to finish up the tutorial and also let you guys know another place where you can find information on how to operate the dashboard. For the location for our business, we're going to go to the data set and we see if we go over, I'm going to click on clutch, we're going to move over. We see that the location for her business, Salisbury, Maryland, and Dover, Delaware. If we want to make it as easy as possible, we'll go up here, Command C, that's copy, or you can right click and copy. We're going to go to the entrepreneurship information file. We're going to locations for her business. We're going to go over to the filter for that one, and we're going to paste Command V, the information into here, and it'll bring up just that single option for us to click on. We click on that. And then now we have that information populated into the table. For the business description, we're going to go back to the data set and we see that, go over here and we can see that Clutch by Tia Dash is the business name. This is the business description. We want to get to just that business description. We can copy the first couple words, Command C to copy, go back to the information file, go to the business description down here. We're going to click on the filter for that. And we're going to go to filter. We're going to type in, we're going to paste Command V, and then we see that this is her business description right here. We're going to select that, press OK, and now her business description is in here. The images were manually entered, so all of these pictures I just copied and pasted them onto here, and also for the picture of her up here, I copy and pasted it onto here. These are manual data entries, so you can type in the information for these cells if you need to populate the information. For this cell though, it had her name on the data set. So I pressed, we're gonna delete this, I pressed equals. I went to the data set, I found somewhere where it said her name. So I'm going to go right here. I can see it says Tia Hobby right here. So I click on that cell that says her name, press enter, and now her name's populated onto there as well. So everything else you can just use the filter, but for these cells you can either manually enter it or, like I said, go to the data set, click equals, and then click on that cell, press enter, and it'll populate it for you. This is a copy of the entrepreneurship information file so that you don't have to remake everything that you just did. You can insert the picture here if you want the picture, insert the images down here where you want, and then filter for a new business. So for example, I just wanted to give an example. If I were to do canine precision, I'd filter, go to canine precision, select that, and then press OK. So now it's the information for that business instead of the information for Tia's business. I also have the manual file where you can, this is completely manual. There are no pivot tables at all on this page, where if you had information for someone who did not ever complete any of the questions in the questionnaire, you can manually enter by just typing into the cell any information that you want to enter for them as well. And that is the entrepreneurship information file and everything you need to know about entering information for those people. In this clip, I'm going to be showing you how to move a pivot table. A pivot table cannot be selected and dragged like a text box, or for example, like a picture can be selected and dragged. You have to actually use the move pivot table option. So to move a pivot table, you're going to click one cell inside of that pivot table, which will bring up the pivot table option. Here, when you look across the top, there is no tab for pivot table. When you click a cell inside of a pivot table, it brings you the pivot table tab. So you click on that tab and you can click move pivot table. So if I want to move it around this worksheet, I need to delete this location because that's that's where it is now. I'm trying to pick a different location for it. So I select a data set. Right here, I can select another group of cells where I want it to go and press OK, and now it's going to move my pivot table over there. I'm going to press undo because I want it to go back to that original spot. But if I wanted to move this pivot table to a new place, like a whole new worksheet, I would select a cell in the pivot table, click the pivot table tab, move pivot table, and I would select new worksheet. And when I press OK, it doesn't let you type in here anymore. When I press OK, it would open a new worksheet down on the bottom, and then that one pivot table would be on that new worksheet. So that's how you move it to a new worksheet. I'm going to show you how to add external data to the dashboard if you wanted to. So this external data would be data that you have in front of you that's not from answers to the form, that didn't populate into the dataset Excel file. It's just information, raw information that you have on your computer that is for something that never got put into the form, or you're waiting for a later date to put it in the form. So first you're going to create a new sheet, which you would just click this plus button right here, but I already have a new sheet, so I'm just going to click on the sheet that I created. So if you have the information already in a separate Excel file, you can just copy and paste it onto here. But just for learning purposes, if you didn't have the data already in a tabular format, I'm going to show you how to put it into a table. So let's say we wanted to record the number of t-shirts that were created in the makerspace for the last 3 months that for some reason didn't get recorded. So we're going to put the date that it was made, the type of t-shirt, and the quantity of t-shirts. So let's say there's 3 types of t-shirts that you can make. So we're going to put May, June, May, June, and July. And then the types of t-shirts, we'll put a V-neck, sleeveless t-shirt, crew neck. So for each month, there's a V-neck, sleeveless shirt, and a crew neck. V-neck, sleeveless shirt, crew neck. So we're just going to make up some quantities real quick of the number of t-shirts that were made. Okay, so here we go. So now that we have it in this format, we can create a pivot table for it so that we can continue and create a pivot chart for it. So to create the pivot table, we're going to select that information, insert pivot table. It'll bring it up right here. So for this example, we want to put the pivot table on this same sheet. So we're going to press existing sheet. Then it's asking me, where do I want the pivot table on this sheet? I'm going to just select some cells, press insert, and it inserts my pivot table. So for the date, we want that in the rows. We want the type in the column, and you can play around with it. If you put type in the row and you don't like how the table looks, put it in the columns, and now it looks better. For quantity, we're going to put that in values because those are the values that we want to come up. So now that we have a pivot table, it's easier for us to go from this to pivot chart. So if we click on this, you can click recommended charts and it gives you examples of a chart that would look best for the information that you have, but you can click what kind of chart you want. So let's say I want a bar chart. I'm going to click on the bar chart. If I can click on the same thing and click insert, and I can do a pie chart this time. So for either kind of chart, we're going to zoom in and we'll just focus on the bar chart first. So this is the bar chart that it made. It's saying that the blue is in May, the orange is the number of t-shirts in June, the gray is the number in July, and then these are the crew necks, these are the sleeveless, these are the V-necks. So I'm just going to show you how to label this the right way. So now that have the chart selected, it's going to bring up the chart tab. I click on the chart tab and I can click the format of it. Then it'll put the format of it over here. So first we need a title. let's say, for example, the title is T-shirt count. And it'll populate onto the thing. So you can choose where you want the title to be. I want it to be above the bar chart, so that's where I'm going to put it. For the legend, you can choose where you want it to be. Right now it's at the bottom. If I wanted it at the top, I could click top, and now it's at the top. For the horizontal axis, you can do the label for the horizontal axis is so now I want a title for the axis. So now there's a title down there at the bottom right here. So now I'm going to go over here, and this is T-shirt type. And now that'll be there. So if I want to put on the vertical axis, I'm going to click axis title on, then it'll let me type in an axis title. So I'm going to put quantity here. And now it says quantity. And that is how you make labels for the bar chart. Same goes for the pie chart. I'm going to go to the format of the pie chart, and I have a chart title, and this is only showing me the t-shirts that are in May. So I can put t-shirts, May t-shirts. And the legend is there. I can also click on it, and up here I can put data labels. So if I want a label for how many, the quantity of them, I can put it. If I press center, it'll be in the center. You can change it to be on the outside ends and the inside, wherever you want it to be, but that's how you can label a bar chart. So from the pivot table, you can click on insert, and you can insert whatever kind of chart that you think will work for the data. So after you have the chart, you just simply right click, copy, or press Control-C to copy, and we can go to our dashboard. If I want this at the bottom, I'm going to Command-V or paste it, and then I can just make it larger, smaller, and now I have information about the t-shirts. I've added the external data to the dashboard. This is the end of our video on how to operate and edit the Hub and Rommel Center Impacts dashboard. We also have a written manual that you guys will have access to show you the bulleted directions, and we hope that this helped you. Thank you for watching.